Welcome to the extraordinary council meeting. I'll read out the fire evacuation procedures to proceed. There is no fire drill planned, so if there is a fire alarm sounds, please follow the committee staff and leave by the exit nearest the large screen at the front of the room and proceed down the fire exit to the courtyard. Once it is safe to return, councillors will receive a text message. Officers will also advise when it is safe to return to the meeting. We are recording the meeting this evening. The webcast will be transmitted live on the council's YouTube channel and will also be available on the council's website. Generally, the public seating areas are not filmed. However, by entering St George's Suite and using the public seating area, you are consenting to being filmed and to the possible use of these images and sound recordings for webcasting and training purposes. Item number 1, an extraordinary council meeting. Are there any apologies for absence? Councillor Journet.
Apologies for absence, Councillor Shields. She passed on her apologies. Thank you.
Councillor Harrison.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Apologies from Councillors Webb and Joseph.
Councillor Brockman.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Apologies from Councillor Hammond and Aldridge.
Yes, I'm sorry. Councillor Blake. Councillor Blake.
Apologies from Turner, Moore and Lawrence.
Thank you. Those apologies have been received. Oh, Councillor Smith.
Apologies from Councillor Westwick.
Thank you, Councillor. Moving on to item number 2, declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest to be made by members? Of course, there's the usual county council en bloc, which I will take from those two hatted members. Are there any other declarations of interest? I can see none. Thank you. Moving on to item 3, consideration for nominations for the honorary alderman. This resolution is required to be passed with a 2/3 majority of those present and eligible to vote. If passed, a special ceremony and presentation will be arranged for a later date. I now call upon Councillor Callaghan, Leader of the Council, to move the report. He does not require a seconder.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It is both an honour and a privilege to introduce this item to the Council tonight, the bestowing of the title of Honorary Alderman of the Basildon Borough upon our late friend and colleague, former Councillor David Harrison. I want to begin by recognising David's family, around the corner there, who are here this evening in the public gallery. To his wife Linda, to his children and to his grandchildren, thank you for being here with us and tuning in online. Linda in particular deserves our heartfelt thanks. She shared David with this council and with the people of Basildon for 5 decades. We know the sacrifices that meant for her as a wife and for your whole family, and we thank you all for it. Earlier this year, we said our goodbyes to David at what was a truly brilliant funeral and send-off. It was a fitting celebration of a life that touched so many, with stories, humour, and the kind of warmth that only David could generate. Since then, it has been wonderful to see his legacy honoured in ways both big and small, not least with the naming of the miniature railway station at Wat Tyler Park after him. And I know that he would have been enormously proud of that and of his son Dan for all that he has done to bring the miniature railway back to life. Members, tonight we take another step in ensuring that his contribution is never forgotten. And I want to stress that the decision to bring this to Council this evening was unanimous. Across parties, across generations, across wards, there was no hesitation. That in itself is testament to the respect and admiration that David commanded. His public service embodied everything that the title of Honorary Alderman is meant to recognise. David was the longest serving councillor in Basildon's history, an extraordinary 36 years of service across a 54-year period. That sort of commitment is almost impossible to comprehend in modern politics. From his first election in 1971 To his final committee meeting just last year, or just this year I should say, David gave everything he had to the people he represented. He was a leader in every sense, chair of committees, mayor of our borough, a governor of schools, founder of community groups, and a champion of local causes from Wickford to Friends. He raised thousands for Basildon Hospital as mayor. He fought for Wickford at Christmas to ensure the town had its fair share of the celebrations. He would treat fixing a fence with the same seriousness as delivering a regeneration project, because to David, it was all about improving people's lives. He was a councillor who understood that service is about more than policies or party labels, but it is about people. And he never lost sight of that. He was respected across political divides, often feared for his forensic questioning, but ultimately admired for his humour, candour, and his absolute commitment to doing right by this borough. He was, in every sense, a giant of Basildon politics, but never aloof, never distant. He was as happy in a residents' meeting hall as he was in the mayor's chain. And of course, he did all of this with that unique mix of mischief and generosity that made him David. The phone calls that always began with, "I'm not happy, Gav, I'm thinking of resigning," the practical jokes in committee papers, the laughter that broke out after the tension. He was serious about the work, but never too serious about himself. Even in his final months, he was determined to carry on. As we have noted in this chamber before, he chaired his last overview and scrutiny meeting the week before his passing, despite ill health and having suffered a suspected stroke that very morning. But he was still here, moving amendments, still speaking up, still representing his community until the very end. That says everything about the man that we are recognising tonight. The role of honorary alderman is reserved for those whose service have left a permanent mark on this borough. David's mark is everywhere. It's in Wickford, it's in Friends, it's in our schools, in our hospitals, in charity funds, in the miniature railway at Wat Tyler, and in the very history of this council chamber. So tonight, with unanimity and pride, I call on colleagues to bestow upon him the title of honorary alderman of the Basildon Borough. It is a symbolic act, yet it is also a promise made. A promise that we will remember his service, honour his memory, and continue to measure ourselves against the standards he set. To Linda and the family, thank you for sharing him with us. David's seat may now be empty, but his legacy will never be replaced. His name will be carried in the role of honorary alderman of this borough for generations to come, and I urge members to support this tonight.
Thank you, Councillor Canahan. The matter is now open for debate. Have any speakers? Councillor Brockman.
I do apologise, it never gets easier doing this, does it? Thank you, Mr Mayor. I would like to begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to the leader for bringing forward the motion to nominate the late ex-councillor David Harrison for posthumous honorary alderman. I fully support this gesture and believe it's a fitting tribute to a man who dedicated so much to this community. However, I must admit I am left with a sense of deep regret that David wasn't able to receive this honour during his lifetime. I truly believe this is something he would have really cherished. I'd also would like to take a moment to share that I made an effort early in 2024 to see David honoured in this way. I approached the relevant channels and learned that the motion was taken to a meeting of leaders, group leaders, but it was ultimately blocked by one dissenting vote. It is incredibly saddening to think that due to one person's objection, David's recognition was delayed until he could no longer be here to witness it himself. However, I'm going to be extremely proud to support this motion.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Larkin.
Thank you, everyone. The status of an honorary alderman in our constitution, whatever party they are affiliated to, allowing them to support the council and civic events in person. Support local charities, support the mayor, part of the Local Government Act in 1972. Although awards can be made posthumously to former members of eminent service to the council. Like myself, because I returned back to Basildon Borough Council as a serving councillor, my alderman position is temporarily suspended till I no longer serve as a borough councillor. My belief is to award this honour to members alive and kicking. Councillor Potter, who was the longest serving Labour leader of the council, he lived in the borough all his life till his death recently. A humble man who loved Basildon, and Basildon loved him, achieving amazing projects for our borough. Also included, as well as this, was Elf Dove, who gave long, committed service to this borough. Another is Malcolm Buckley, a leader of the council and a Conservative, honest, fair and constant, who will support this borough, not as a ghost, but when he retired, he will do all for the borough. When I retire, I hope people will read my book. Love it or loathe it, it's the truth. It's called Behind the Political Rainbow. I'm still a DL till I pass through the pearly gates. I am proud of the title, but Basildon that the powers that be never seem to award us, but I still feel constant anger that a member of staff has constantly, overtly, telephoned the Lord Lieutenant without consent from our leader or our chief exec and complained about my initials DL on the board, which she exclaims because I am political. It's a no-no, my reply. Go to County Hall and see all the DLs on the board still serving. And active Conservative county councillors. Perhaps it's because they are Conservative. Who knows? Who knows? Well, I'm still a DL. Like an alderman, it goes to the grave with me. Why did I retire? It's in the blood. And probably to finish my book. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Ferguson.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Mr Mayor, I am proud to support the leader tonight in calling for honorary alderman status to be awarded to David Harrison. I first met David over a decade ago, and our first conversation wasn't about politics. It wasn't about the political parties that we represented, but it was actually about something that unites us all. We might return to it later this evening in later debates tonight, of football. We knew we were going to get on very well, very quickly into that conversation, that we both had a huge passion for football. And through that conversation, within 30 seconds, it turns out that I'd actually met David through his son Lee 10 years earlier than that. Very quickly, my relationship with David improved, and we got on incredibly well, working together, serving our community. What was struck me very, very quickly about working with David was his passion for Wickford, his devotion to this borough, and his love for his family. Those are values that unite us all in being members of this council and things that we should always remember. I was fortunate to be invited to be able to serve as David's Vice Chair of the Neighbourhoods and Public Spaces Committee from 2020 to 2021. During that time, I found David to be incredibly inclusive. In every meeting he had with officers, he invited me to be able to attend along with him. He always asked my input on every decision before it came forward before the meeting. And we also had the infamous post-meeting debriefs that took place afterwards. David was always very generous with his praise, always there for his advice, and always there to be able to support. I was proud to serve alongside him as a councillor, and I was proud to call him a friend, as I do tonight. When I left this chamber in 2022, one of the first messages I had following the elections was from David, wishing me well and keeping in touch during the break. On the 5th of July last year, one of the first text messages I had after the election result was from David, checking in, making sure everything was okay. That's a mark of a man, a testament to his character, a testament to his decency, and a testament to what we remember about David. David represented the best of this borough. David represented the best of us. and I'm proud to be able to support this tonight and ensure that David's legacy can continue and his family get the support that they deserve. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Ferguson. Are there any more speakers? Okay, thank you. Then we move forward to the end of the debate. Councillor Callaghan may wind up for 5 minutes. No? Okay, thank you. Right, so the vote is needed. All those in favour of awarding Councillor Harrison the honorary alderman status, please indicate. Thank you. That is okay. All those against? Any abstentions? Okay, that vote is carried. Thank you. Congratulations. Now that is passed, a special ceremony and presentation will take place at a later date. And that concludes the extraordinary council meeting today. Thank you. There will be a 5-minute break.